Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3 wants you to know suicide is cool.
Persona 3, the abandoned child of the Persona series, and somehow also the savior. Funny thing is, I ended up recording this on the 20th anniversary of Persona 3. And this is also going to be up on the 20th anniversary of Persona 3. Atlus, feature me. Persona 3 sort of starts off the same as all the other Personas. You're a transfer student. You've had a full life to live before experiencing the events of Persona 3. Your parents mysteriously died, and that death allowed you to bounce around between place to place until you end up in the city inside Persona 3. When I say Persona 3, the first thing that probably pops into your mind is most likely death. And while you can say that is true, I'd like to repurpose that statement and say Persona 3 is more about how death affects people and how those deaths build off of the character. I think it's a good thing that in the game, there's just not one type of death. When a person dies, that'll obviously affect you, but Persona 3 explores deeper into that. But yeah, what's up?
Alright, I'll see you at work, buddy.
Toodaloo? I forgot where I was at. The game doesn't pursue death in one type of way, you know? They could have just went the route of how a person death affects everybody, but no, everybody has their own deaths in a way. Whether it be the death of ideals, the death of dreams in a way, the death of a maternal figure, the death of a brother, and the death of your goals. And even the death of non-abstract concepts such as human life are performed in a way so special that you just can't consider them as a plain old death. Even something as little as cutting a tree ties back into the core theme of Persona 3 as much as an actual death does. I actually do want to explore this a little bit. So in the game, there's this old couple that you meet. The man's name is Bunkichi, and his wife Mitsuko, from what I think. I don't remember. While doing your high schooler things and exploring the city, you end up in this little library. You see somewhat of a happy old couple, and you can't tell if the old man has dementia or something because he mistakes you for his son. The old man asks you what school you go to, and you answer, and he seems to know your school and also that there's a persimmon tree. And if you do a little bit of exploring, you'll end up seeing that same persimmon tree that he was talking about. He asks you to bring a leaf from that persimmon tree, and once you show that same leaf to him, he tells you that it was actually his son, the same son that he mistook you for, that planted that tree. And that same son was also a teacher at the same high school that you attend. But sadly though, Bunkichi, the old man, seems to have forgotten what happened to his son, and it's up to his wife to remind him that his son passed away after a car accident. That in and of itself was a rough talk, I'm not gonna lie. It just only escalates after that. Coming back to them, they mention that the school is planning to cut down that persimmon tree that is their only tie to their son after his death. To them, to cut that tree would be the same as to abandon their son or the last memories that they have of him. But checking back in with them, that isn't what they want. The old couple figures out that the persimmon tree is being cut to provide more facilities to the students of your high school. And to that, they can say nothing. They decide to just let the tree go. They came up with the resolve to abandon that tree after going to see the tree for themselves and formulating their opinion on it. What they chose to believe there wasn't their grief, but their memories of their son. It even goes back to tie in about what I said about Persona 3 not being a game about death, but rather a game of coping with grief. To hold on to that tree and that hurt and the memories of the loss is to also hold new growth, which funny enough, that's also what a persimmon tree represents. Japanese people believe that persimmon trees represent growth, and to keep that persimmon tree there would be to hinder the growth of students. The old couple's son devoted a lot of his time into being the best teacher that he could possibly be, And in his tenure, he decided to plant that tree. And so that also packs more of a punch when thinking about the end. That's what the son would have wanted. The old couple decided to live in the memory of their son instead of living in their memory of the son, if that makes sense. As crazy as it is to say, death isn't an end-all be-all thing, because sure, what's left after your death is completely nothing, but at the same time, that just isn't true at all. Memories of you will be in like even the most random people's minds. Even the littlest gestures can go way farther than you think. I think the main character themselves does a perfect job at portraying what it is to take life for granted. That alone is probably why the main character has the best conclusion. In all of fiction, I'm not gonna lie though, the main character is portrayed as like an apathetic teenager. I mean, who wouldn't be after their parents are all gone and it's just you in this world? They just spend their days just breathing and there's no life to them. But through the relationships that you form, piece by piece, you start to feel like you belong in this world and that there's a place for you to be, even after having lost everything, seemingly. But I think that comes with it being a Persona game, in all honesty. If there's one thing Persona does best, it's showing community. In every single Persona game, all party members go through the same struggles that tie into the core themes of the game. As the protagonist starts to feel more acclimated to their environment, you begin to start feeling more acclimated because all the other protagonists are really dramatized portrayals of what they represent in the game compared to Persona 3's main protagonist, because it's more easy to be associated with death rather than discovering truth, cracking down on social hierarchies. How could a person with little regard to their own life be able to help people with their own situations? The thing with the main character is they don't care. More often than not, what ends up happening is that people dump their emotional trauma onto the main character. And at first, they end up not caring. As you deepen your bond with other characters, you begin to realize that you truly do care. It's not like you're incapable of feeling, it's just that you haven't been able to feel. And through deepening those bonds, a little bit more depth is added to the main character. Those issues don't just become somebody else's, well, they come to be shared troubles. And honestly, you could begin to see that as a metaphor for life. Maybe you don't have like situations of your own, but once you begin to see some in other people, and you begin to care about those other people, their problems start to become yours. And through triumph and overcoming both of your troubles, you yourself begin to grow as a person. And then someday you'll have your own troubles, and maybe somebody else will come to help you. And that's really the beauty of the game. There isn't a single person in the game that doesn't come from like a troubled background. Part of that is kind of why I wished extra time was given to Persona 3 in development for its remake. And at the end of the day, there isn't a single perfect game out there, but this game isn't far from it, regardless of its flaws. John Lennon said it best: in trying to find the meaning of life, it's so easy to forget like all the most important things are happening right in front of you. You can see it in the things that you do every day. You can see it in what you practice and what you preach. Your core values are your own meaning. And with interaction with others, you can begin to shape yourself up to what you want to truly be. Persona 3 taught me that I'm gonna die one day. And instead of biding my time, crying, thinking about what I could have done better, that I should take hold of my own life and do the things I want to do and be with the people who make me whole. And while that's difficult in retrospect, and while it is also hard in actuality, as long as there's something to see at the end, that's all that there needs to be.